Hello?
Hello, can I speak with Mr. Sajjad Hussain, please?
Yes, speaking.
Hello, sir. My name is Simon. I'm calling from the Department for Work and Pensions, the Carers Allowance Unit at Preston. I'm just calling about your claim for carers allowance. Before I proceed any further, I just need to ask you a couple of security questions just to verify that you are who you say you are. Can you confirm for me, please, the name of the person for whom you are caring?
Mr. Talib Hussain.
Thank you. The date of birth of the person for whom you are caring?
15/9/1960.
Thank you. And into which bank do we normally pay your carers allowance?
Lloyd's Bank.
Thank you, sir. That's fine. No problem. Right. I'm calling to sort out your carers allowance for you. Hopefully we'll get it sorted out right here, right now. Let me explain. I'm not a manager, but I am a very experienced member of staff. So between us, we should be able to sort your carers allowance out for you. Responding to your latest call about emails, we're not allowed to send information via email because it can be intercepted, and in that case it would be a breach of the Data Protection Act and we would get prosecuted for it. So the government won't authorise sending information via email. We can receive emails from customers, but we can't send information via email. It has to go through the post, unfortunately, so that we don't fall foul of the General Data Protection Regulations.
Okay, can I just seek clarity on this information before we go further? Now, my complaint was twofold. I did not ask. I mean, I'm happy. The fact that you send out information through the post is fine. It's the aspect of sending information to, like, basically contacting yourself. Now, under these circumstances, you've asked me for some information. I rang up on Friday to see if you've received it, and by that time you had not received it. However, you had given me a deadline date. But the purpose of the complaint was twofold. First of all, when I rang up your care staff, the call handlers, they state that they're not allowed to give out an email address. It's not the aspect. They're not allowed to give out an email address. So they're saying that we can't give you an email address to send information into us. But that contradicts the letter that I received. Now, the letter that I received on the 14th of December, it actually says you can email us at cau.customer-services@DWP. So So when the letter you sent out to us says we can contact you on an email address, and then if I ring up the customer service on the telephone and say, can I have an email address that I can contact you on, they say we can't give you an email address. So that's the first.
Yeah. Let me explain that bit. The people that man our phones don't work for carers allowance. It's an outside company and they're not trained in carers allowance. They've got some basic training, very basic training, but they're not as trained and as experienced as carers allowance staff are. You can send us information via email using the email address that's on that letter, the cau.customer-services. You can use that one to send us information, and they should have told you that email address. To be honest, we don't encourage customers to send it via email if possible, but if they insist on it, we cannot stop them, and we should give them that email address.
Yes. So with regard, So you've provided me with some clarity on this, yes. And now I've been ringing up the carers allowance unit, and there seems to be some confusion here. On some occasions, the staff, I asked them, is it a third party organization? Is it a security firm?
I can't tell you that, I'm afraid. The reason being, the third-party organisation, if it's not related to you, it's related to someone else, and that, again, is covered by the Data Protection Regulations. Without the other person's consent, I can't divulge anything about them to you or anybody else. In the same way, I wouldn't tell anybody else anything to do with you without your consent. No. My hands are tied because of the General Data Protection Regulations. I need the relevant person's consent before I can divulge that information to anybody else.
Okay, well, no, in this regards, what I was trying to say was that when I rang up the customer number that you provide me with, the carers unit, on some occasions On some occasions, they've told me that they can't. They work for an outside agency, and on other occasions, which you've confirmed to me now, I think it was a G4S security or something. I'm not sure. On other occasions, they've told me that no, actually, we work for the carers unit ourselves. We're not an outside sourced company. But irrespective, I mean, if I ask somebody for an email address, they should provide it to me. But they say that
they should.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, they should. Let me explain. They are a third-party company. It's very rare. It's not totally unheard of. It's very rare for someone from Carers Allowance to answer a phone from the general public. It's usually one of the outsourced people that do it. And as I say, they're not particularly trained on carers allowance, so the information they will give is very scant. What they normally do is they take the information from the caller and they write a report and they send it to us.
Yes.
And then we contact the caller or the customer and we explain everything properly and then provide them with whatever they need. Because we're the people that actually work for carers allowance. We know the system. We know the benefit. We can give them the correct answers, which is what I'm doing with you today.
Okay, all right, I see. So just on this, just so we're talking on this one point here that I've raised with yourself today. So with regards to the carers unit, I mean, obviously, I would advise yourselves to make that information available to carers should they want to do so. It's simply because some people, like under this circumstances, it's been helpful to me, and you do send it out in your correspondence. But the thing I needed to inform you of that the email address that you've sent on the letter. It's actually changed. I think your domain has changed. So
bear with me 2 seconds. Let me just check that for you. Right. Give me a second. I'm going to find it. I've got several email addresses here. Bear with me 2 seconds. Let me find the right one. Yeah, it should be CAU. Dot customer.
Yes.
Dash services.
Yes.
At DWP.
Yes.
.gov.uk.
That's correct. Yes. That's the correct email address.
No, that's not changed. That's still our email address.
Yes, but on the letter that you sent out previously, it was at dwp.gsi.gov.uk.
Ah, right. Okay. It used to be .gsi.gov.uk and they've dropped the GSI. So it sounds like what you've got is an old letter.
Well, no, I've got.
They should have pulled that before they sent it to you.
No,
that's an old version.
That's right. Yes. So that's not. Yep.
Go on.
Yeah,
sorry.
Sorry, we're on the same page now. So this letter is dated the 14th of December 2022. So the letter's not old, but the template that's been used by yourself is out of date, and that's why I wanted.
It sounds like it. Yeah, if it's got GSI on it, it's definitely out of date.
Yes. So I mean, I'm aware independently that your domain has changed. I think it was changed some years ago. I'm aware of that independently. So that's how I was able to send you an email to the correct email address. But like I said, this letter is dated the 14th of.
Have you got that letter with you?
I have it in front of me now.
Right. Which letter is it? On the bottom right-hand corner, is there a code number?
It is, yes. It's LH129. 03
LH, L for Lima, H for Hotel.
Yes.
Yeah, 129. I know what that is. That's a letter. Bear with me 1 second. Let me just check that for you. Give me a second. No, not that one. Yeah, that one. Bear with me. Let me have a look. Because if it's wrong, and it sounds like it is, I'll get it changed.
Yes.
Bear with me 2 seconds. Oh, sorry. That one. Yeah. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Yeah, that's fine.
Not that one. Bear with me. 2001 version of the LH129. So I'm checking them all.
Okay.
Right. That one's got gov.uk/carers allowance. Now, I don't think that's a website address. That's not an email address. Bear with me.
So just to clarify which one this is Lima Hotel 129 and in brackets 03/13. So this must be, I think, the 2013 version.
March 13.
Yeah.
Right. So it definitely is a very old version. Bear with me 1 second. Yeah, because all the ones that are on the system are up to date. Bear with me. Let me just check this one. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Yeah.
Right. I'm looking at one. It's one that's pre-2020, and it's got LH129 brackets 04/13. So this is April 2013.
Okay, well, the letter I have in front of me says 03.
Right. Okay. Well, the one that's on the system at the moment appears to be April 2013. It gives a website address, www.gov.uk/carers-allowance, but it doesn't give an email address, just a website address.
Well, no, this is not the same letter, the template that I have in front of me. The template letter I have in front of me obviously starts with the letterhead of the Department of Work and Pensions. It's got reference, my national insurance number, reference name, my name, then our address at the top, and that's your address at the top. Then it's got our telephone number, which is your telephone number, your fax number, and then at the bottom it says website, and it just says www.gov.uk, no / anything. Just www.gov.uk, and then it's
that's for the website, which is the government website
Yeah.
for all the benefits.
yeah. So it doesn't on this template. It just says website www.gov.uk. It doesn't say / It
There
doesn't.
isn't an email address on it, is there?
No, just 1 second, sir. So there's no email address at the top right hand side of the letter. It's simply got website www.gov.uk, and then it's got obviously the date, and then the 14th of December. Then coming at the bottom of the letter, right at the bottom of the letter, all right, it says yours sincerely, office manager. So it's just simply got office manager on there. It's not got anybody's name or signature or anything. And then below that, it's got, you can email us at cau.customer-services.dwp.gsi.gov.uk. Then it's got telephone lines are open Monday to Thursday 8:30 to 5 p.m. and Friday to 8:30 to 4:30 p.m. And then at the bottom it's got page and page number. And then at the bottom right hand corner it says LH129.
I'm wondering if they've cobbled it together. What they've done is they've possibly copied and pasted from one form and pasted it onto another before sending it to you. As far as I can see, there is no form that's specifically like that. I think somebody's cobbled it together.
Okay, on
The
it.
information they put on it is out of date. That email address is definitely out of date.
Yeah, that's
We
what.
don't send email addresses with GSI anymore.
That's correct, yes. And also, you don't send a letterhead. You don't send with LH12903 -13. That
We
0.
shouldn't be doing. Letters that were created in 2013. We've got more up to date letters than that one.
Okay, all right.
So what day was that sent to you?
So I've got this letter in front of me dated the 14th of December 2022.
Right. What I need to do do is find out who sent it and ask them why they sent it.
Okay, all right. So then could we moving on from this subject?
I'll investigate that.
Yeah, all right. So if you can just look into this subject, because obviously the content of this letter is what is a concern to us, which obviously I wanted to discuss with yourself. Now, so that's the first issue. So with regards to the complaint that I raised this morning after the call, it was just simply basically saying that I want, like, obviously I'm a very articulated individual. There are other carers out there that I went on the internet to find out your email address, and some people are struggling with this, and all the purpose of me, obviously the only way I can communicate or agree get something changed is through a complaints procedure. So the purpose of the complaint this morning was simply to say that, look, you do provide email addresses, and if somebody should your third party organization, if a carer rings up and asks for an email address, it should be provided. The fact that you don't correspond via email is perfectly understandable, but I think at this stage, a lot of people would prefer to send things by email simply because of the postal system. Like, under these circumstances, there's been a postal strike.
I appreciate that.
So
I understand what you're saying. As I say, the bottom line is, if the customer wants the email address, we cannot refuse it to them, but we don't encourage them to correspond by email, because email is not secure. We can't send information out. We can send general information out. But we can't send specific information relating to a customer via email, because it can be intercepted. And it could be a breach of the data protection act, for which we can get in serious trouble for it.
We'll come on to the subject of the Data Protection Act, because obviously that's an element of my concerns, and obviously I'm very proficient in the Data Protection Act, and I'm encouraged that someone like yourself, who works for the Department of Work and Pensions, recognises that email is an unsecured method of communication and should not be utilised. So I'm encouraged by that. But however, like I said, the purpose of my complaint is that not the fact that that it's an unsecure method, is that if a customer asks for it, like for example, I can put this call down now, ring up your carers unit, a call handler will not give me that information. That's the complaint.
They should be doing. If you specifically ask for an email address, they should be providing you with it.
Yes,
they shouldn't refuse you.
But they say that we don't have an email address to give you.
That's not correct.
Yes.
I think that's more to do with the fact they don't have that information, because they've not worked here long enough, and they don't actually work for carers homes. I can feed that back and make sure they are given that email address and told that if a customer specifically asks for it, the customer is to be given that email address.
That's correct. Yes, that's all I'm saying, is because when I last spoke to your call handler, which I believe was on a Friday, and I'm not sure you can.
About 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I believe.
Yes, you can review that. You can review that call. The lady was the lady that I spoke to was unaware of two facts. One of the facts she was unaware of was the fact that I informed her that, first of all, I rang up and I said, have you received my correspondence through the post? She said, no, we haven't. So I said, oh, not to worry, I've got your email address. And so she was kind of surprised that I had the email address. And so she goes, what email address have you got? And I told her, this is the email address I've got. Because she goes, normally we don't, normally we don't have an email address to give out. So that's hence why I've said that the carers, the call handlers, at least should have that information ready to give out to people. So we're in agreement. So that's the purpose of the complaint this morning, was that, look, regarding the email address. So moving on from this, you've said the fact that just in this conversation today, that you've said that when you give out if you subcontract out somebody like an agency, and if I ask for that information, you're not allowed to give me that information due to Data Protection Act. I disagree with you, and you can help me understand where my understanding is. Because the Data Protection Act is there to protect individuals, civilians, primarily. So, for example...
Well, it's there to protect the divulging of information belonging to specific people or organisations.
Okay.
So I can't give any information out about anyone else or another organisation without their consent.
Okay.
In the same way, I wouldn't tell anybody diddly squat about your claim without your consent.
Okay, now just one second.
Because again, I'm bound by the same data protection, and if I tell them, I'm breaking the law, and you can sue the pants off me.
Okay, well, when you say I can sue the pants off you, who is you?
Yeah, me personally.
No,
Because
you're
yeah, you
right.
can.
No, who are you right now? I don't even know who you are.
Right, but the thing is, if you say, I know that this person divulged information about me to a third party and I didn't give my consent, yeah, the DWP will find out who that person is, they'll know it's me, and then they'll say, right, you are in deep doo-doo.
Yes.
Because the customer has the right to sue you rather than the DWP.
Well, obviously, my understanding was slightly different from that because my understanding is right now that you are an employee of the DWP, and so therefore, so therefore, all actions that you take, you're not, your employers are liable for your actions, not you.
No, apparently not. Not when it comes to to data protection. It's the individual that's responsible.
But that sure. I mean, all right, fair enough. That's some new information to me because my understanding is my understanding is that as an employee of the basically
Of the DWP.
yeah. So there's one person, that's me, all right, Mr. Sajjad Hussain, and there's another legal person which is the DWP. Now, obviously, the DWP, the person that's the chief executive is the the person. But obviously, it would be unfair of the chief executive to deal with the millions of people on a daily basis. So there's an organizational structure which is the DWP. Each employee is responsible, is effectively acting as a proxy agent for the DWP that I'm dealing with. So in my circumstances, I won't be suing you because you're just an employee. It would be the corporation because I'm dealing with the corporation here. So
as part of our training for the General Data Protection Regulations,
yes,
we were told that when it comes to the General Data Protection Regulations, it's the individual that is responsible if they divulge them, not the employer.
Well, I think that's training, isn't it? That's not the law. The law,
apparently that's the law.
No,
the law says it's the individual that divulges the information who is responsible for breaching it, not the employer.
No, but if you breach the Data Protection Act, for example, if you leak information out as an employee, the corporation can take action against you. All right, for breaching that Data Protection Act after receiving training, like the Julian Assange thing, similar in that regard. But I, as a customer, I mean, I'm not dealing with you. I don't even know all I know is your name is Simon. All right, you're an employee. I'm not dealing with you personally. All right, and if I have an issue with you personally, all I can do is lodge it as a complaint. All right, I can't sue you as a.
I don't think that's the case, sir.
All right.
I think you will find that you can sue me personally if I divulge information about your claim to a third party and you haven't given me prior consent to do that.
Yes.
I think you will find that you can sue me personally.
Well, like I said, let's just agree to disagree here because I don't think that's factually accurate. Because just to move on the conversation.
When the call's finished, I will find out.
Yeah.
I will ask and say, what is it the DWP that gets sued, or is it the individual employee? I'm sure we were told in our training it's the individual employee in this case.
Okay, well,
if we breach data protection, we are responsible for it.
Yeah, you may be responsible and held liable by your employer. Because right now, you see, what I try to explain is that right now, there's a difference between you and I. I am a free civilian citizen, okay? I have free autonomy right now. You, with respect, no, I'm not trying to like...
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, you're an employee. You're bound by your core. You don't have liberty right now. You're working. You're an employee. So one of the examples that I give, which is a very good example, is that, for example, like under the Data Protection Act, if you as a corporation or organization are recording me, you have to inform me that, we're recording you, in advance.
But that goes the other way as well.
No, it doesn't.
If the customer rings up and then at the end of the call says to me, oh, by the way, I've recorded the call, that's illegal.
No, that's
they have to tell me at the start of the call that they are recording it.
No. This is. I think with respect, sir. I mean, obviously, as I've explained, I'm very proficient in the Data Protection Act, and this should be made very clear that private citizens.
Sorry, you've gone muffled. I can't hear
So
you.
just one second. I'm just looking for something.
No problem.
Just 1 second. Yeah, I mean, Yeah, so this is one of the examples that I give, that your understanding on this is factually inaccurate. So this is another aspect that you can obviously get further clarity on, is that I, as a private citizen, can record this conversation and not make you aware of it, and I'm not breaking any laws. However, if
I
you
don't think that's right.
no, no,
I'll check that,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I don't think that's right.
that is, yeah. I mean, and the reason for that is because, as I explained, there's a declared there's a distinction between myself as a civilian and yourself as an officer. So as an officer, you're working right now. I'm not working right now. So I have freedom. I can take photographs of everything.
I don't think that comes into it. I think it's just the fact that you are recording the call without telling the person that you're recording that they are being recorded.
Yes.
So you're not giving them an opportunity to be careful about what they say.
But they're not. They shouldn't be careful. They're not. You shouldn't be doing anything wrong anyway. So just for
absolutely, I agree.
So
I agree.
So it's not about giving you an opportunity to be careful. All right, you're effectively acting as a proxy agent for the CEO or your corporation.
Yeah, I understand that.
So
I'm an employee of the DWP.
Yeah,
I understand that.
So when I'm recording you, I don't need to. You shouldn't be doing anything wrong anyway. You're not a free person. All right.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Now, so let me just inform you of this, because what I do often is that, like I said, I'm a very proficient in the Data Protection Act. Often, what I do is I ring up the Information Commissioner's office, and with regards to the Information Commissioner's office, I record them constantly, and I then tell them after I've recorded them. Sometimes I tell them, sometimes I don't tell them. But then I email the CEO, which was Elizabeth Denham at the time, and I said, I'm not only have I recorded the conversation with your staff members, but now I'm going to publish it on YouTube. What are you going to do about it? And the reality is that
that's entrapment.
No, it's not, sir. The reality, the bottom line is that the Information Commissioner's office cannot act against the law, and that is not unlawful. So that often what I do is, and this is why I think it's an educational process. You have one understanding that I can't record you without informing you. You have one understanding that, if I publicize it, that it's entrapment. These are all incorrect information. You are deeply
I will need to check on that.
Yes, you can. All right, but because you've just made me aware that you have concerns right now. All right, and like I said, I don't need to make you aware that I'm recording this conversation. You have not made me aware when you rang me up that you're recording this conversation. But just for your reference purposes, I just want you to know that I am recording this conversation. And I'm not trying to entrap you or anything. And I obviously, as a free citizen, are you still there? Yeah. And as a free citizen, I often should I feel it to do the necessary to do so to inform the fellow citizens or public, I sometimes often do publicize information on my YouTube channel. Now, like I said, the reason I'm confident that I'm right, because I've done this many times, not with yourself, because obviously I've only been liaising with the DWP recently in October, but I have you can go to my YouTube channel and you can see where I've deliberately rang them up, deliberately not informed them after the conversation. In fact, some of the times you can even ring up the Information Commissioner's office yourself and say, I have somebody who's recorded me without my consent, he's a private citizen, and he says he's going to publicize the call. What can I do about it?
Right.
And they'll tell you there's nothing you can do about it, because can you understand there's a distinction between me as a civilian and you as an officer, and hence why I gave you this example. So similarly, I started to give you this example because you and I were not the same right now. All right. You're working. I'm a free citizen. I'm giving my time and resources. So therefore, I'm at liberty to do what I like. Obviously, I tell people because I'm not trying to entrap people. I just tell them because I have a liberty to do so. But I take the Data Protection Act very seriously too. But on this regards, I feel that you are ill-informed, and I would suggest that you are not only, because now that you've made me aware that you work for actually work for the carers unit, what I would like to see as an outcome is that, should I be correct and yourselves be misinformed, then that information also needs to be relayed to all call handlers. That should a customer ring up at some stage they said, I'm recording this call, all right, or the customer staff cannot end the call by saying, I don't agree to this.
I say, I will find out and I will make the appropriate inquiries.
Yes, because the outcome, obviously, the outcome that I'm looking for is that should I ring up as a customer, one of your customers, that if I'm recording, your care staff may become aware of this. I shouldn't feel uncomfortable, like like you're saying that I'm entrapping you or I don't have your consent or something like this. This is not case. This is not what the law is. The law says that I can record covertly. Basically, I'm recording you covertly, and I have a right to record covertly. However, as an
I don't know, sir. I will have to make inquiries about that.
Okay, all right. So that's the first point, and the second point is that as a organization, as a corporation, the data protection determines who's the data controller. That's the aspect of where you come under the Data Protection Act. So if you're holding information and retaining that information, then you come under the Data Protection Act. So for example, if I'm recording you and I don't make you aware of it and it's part of my business operations, then I come under the Data Protection Act and I have to inform you then. That's where the aspect of the data controller comes in. Now, with regards to any information that you, the DWP, hold about me, you're under the Data Protection Act. The DWP has a data controller. It's normally an officer. Would you be able to tell me who that officer is, who's in charge of the Data Protection Act?
I don't know at the moment, but
That's
I can
fine.
certainly contact them and ask them to get in touch with you.
Yeah, if you could do so, yes. Because that person has to be registered with the Information Commissioner's Office. Now, with regards to...
I presume they will be.
Yeah, there will be, yes. And with regards to subcontracting, I don't think that is privileged information. So when I've asked for, who is your subcontractor, I think it's G4S. I don't think that comes under, that information does not come under the Data Protection Act, because it does not...
Yes, in that instance, you are correct. Yeah, I can tell you that the people that are working for us and covering our phone calls is G4S.
Yes. So that's
not specific to an individual.
That's correct.
It's general information.
That's correct,
sir. I can tell you that. That's not a problem.
So earlier on in the conversation, you were saying that you could not divulge that information, but that was me.
Yeah, I didn't correctly understand what you were getting at then, but I do now.
Yes. So it's G4S, any subcontractor, and any information or data held by G4S, because they're a third-party organization, they're not the data controller. You, the DWP, are still the data controller, and so if I make a subject access request,
Can I stop you there, sir?
Yeah.
With respect, I don't think I should be discussing this with you. You need to be discussing this with the data controller.
Yes, and let's move on. Yes,
me.
Yes, that's fine. I think that's all right.
So what I need to do is I need to find out who that is and ask them to contact you.
Yes, that's fine.
You can discuss your concerns with the data controller.
That's fine.
I
Yes.
think this is above and beyond me.
Yes, that's fine.
But it needs to be sorted out with the data controller, and they will pass any relevant information down to us in due course.
Yes, that's fine. I think that's the best way to proceed. Let's move on now from this matter, right? Let's move on. So with
Can I also say, neither of us are citizens. We are both subjects. This is a monarchy, not a republic.
You're not a civilian?
No, I'm saying I'm not a citizen. I'm a subject. Britain is a monarchy. It's not a republic. If we were in America, we would be citizens.
Okay.
But we're not in America. We're in Britain, and Britain is a monarchy. So all the people that live in Britain are the subjects of the monarch.
I have a passport that says I'm a British citizen.
Strictly speaking, if you are a British subject, then you are a subject of the monarch rather than a citizen. Citizen is usually public.
Okay, sorry, I'm just slightly confused now. Are not all civilian citizens?
It depends where they live. All American civilians are citizens, but British civilians are subjects because we are a monarchy, not a republic.
I understand the constitutional structure. I understand that the Americans have a constitution and we're a parliamentary system.
France is citizens.
Yeah, I understand this.
They're a republic.
Yes, but I've often asked this question: what exactly are we in Britain?
We're subjects.
No. What governmental constitution are we in? Because we're not exactly. We're a monarchy. I mean, the closest thing I have, and this we're going off topic here. I think we're a theocracy, like Iran, because. because sorry, just can I just clarify? Because the head of the church is the queen, so she's the
It's the monarch.
yes.
Yeah.
So
But they're not the head in the sense that a caliph is a head or the Pope is the head of the Roman Catholic. The monarch is the supreme governor of the Church of England.
yes.
But they're not the head in the sense that the Pope is the head of the Roman Catholic Church or a caliph is the head of Islam.
No, but for example, the closest thing that I think, I'm objectively speaking, that is the closest kind of constitution the United Kingdom is close to Iran, where there's an Ayatollah who's the head of both the state and the church, and in England it is correct that the monarch Prince Charles is head of the state and the Church of England.
No, he's not.
He is the head of.
Not the head of the church. No, officially the head of the church is the Archbishop of Canterbury. The king is the supreme governor because of what happened in history.
Yes.
But he's not the head of the Church of England.
Okay. So I think we're going on a digression here. When I say citizen, please understand that I'm trying to refer to. I never heard of myself being called a subject, or anybody being called a subject.
If you try and commit suicide in this country and you fail, you will be charged with attempting to deprive the king of one of his subjects. That's a criminal offence.
Okay, what criminal offence is that? Is it
because if you try and commit suicide and you don't succeed?
Yes.
You can be charged with attempting to deprive the monarch of one of their subjects.
Okay. But
that's actually a criminal offence.
Sir, you know what? I think you're a fascinating individual, and I would love to have this conversation with you, because obviously I think you and I are we have a very good understanding, and I think my understanding is slightly different to yours. But I think for the purposes of this call, I would like to focus in on the matter at hand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because obviously what you're telling me, I think, is very, very intriguing and fascinating, and I think that a lot of people should know that. I personally think that the thing with the monarchy is that there's no constitution, but there is a constitution. It's just an unwritten constitution. And you're right, I personally do agree. I do agree with you that effectively we're all subjects of the crown. And what people don't know is that why would, as you can appreciate, I come from a Pakistani heritage. Or I was born in this country, but my parents come to this country. Why would somebody voluntarily make themselves a subject when they have freedom of citizenship? So it's a deception, isn't it? It's like, what you're telling me, like the king owns everything. If I attempt to kill myself, I'm depriving the king of a subject. But how did I become a subject if my parents came into this country as immigrants? They were told that you were going to give you citizenship, and that citizenship comes from a passport. We were never told that we were going to be. Obviously, we are like it. Obviously, like if we went to France, which is a republic, we would still abide by those laws. So coming to this country, abiding by the laws is, we still have to do that. But you see that I on the one hand, I 100% agree with you, but on the other hand, I do feel that many people have been duped into believing, into becoming subject, because nobody wants to take away. Because the way I see it, God created me. All right, I'm subject to God. I'm a property of God. And I'm why would my parents, or why would any immigrant come to this country from having been subject to God and God's law and having freedom as a citizen to come into becoming somebody's subject? But like I said, that's a very interesting conversation that maybe you and I could have on a personal level. But right now, I would like to just focus in on where we are. Okay.
So what I want to do is I want to move on and come back to your claim specifically.
Okay.
Bear with me 1 second. I'm just bringing your details up again. Then I'll ask you a couple of questions, and hopefully we'll get it sorted out for you.
Okay. Well, before we do that, this letter that we've been speaking upon, can we deal with the letter, because we were speaking about this letter.
What does the letter say?
So this letter, which you believe that is put together, and I believe that too as well. It says here, now what happened is that, as you're aware, regarding my claim was suspended unilaterally in August. All right, and the claim was suspended on a belief that I was not providing the care and support services. All right.
Right, okay.
So that's hence the issue with my complaint. So somebody, which obviously you're telling me, you're going to tell me, you're not going to tell me who that person was, but somebody, and anybody can do this. I can ring up and say, oh look, this person's not providing any care to this person. All right. So you've received some information on a belief that I am not providing the care. And that's fair enough. Now, what I would anticipate is that if somebody that could have been malicious or could have been genuine, what I would have anticipated is that, so after being given a report or an allegation, that what normally would happen is that you would obviously write to the customer, like myself, and say,
We did.
no, just hold 1 second, sir. Just 1 second.
Yeah,
No, you did. No, you didn't. Because what happened is that once.
Bear with me 1 second.
All right, you can. I'll bear with you, but that's not what happened. And so this is the basis of my complaint.
Bear with me 1 second. I'm just trying to find the right note.
Okay, go on.
Bear with me. Give me a second. That one. No. Yeah. 4th of October 2022, we sent a form out to you for you to confirm whether or not you were still caring for the disabled person, and that form has to be signed by the disabled person's personal acting body.
Yeah, just 1 second.
Confirm that you're caring.
Just 1 second.
Once we get that back,
1 second, sir.
we can then
Once-
hopefully reinstate your carers.
All right, sir. Just 1 second, sir. That was not what the topic of the conversation was. You just mentioned that you sent out an inquiry letter on the 4th of October, which was requiring me to respond by the 20th of October. I rang up on the 20th of October. It is at this stage that I became aware that the payments has been suspended since August. Try to understand the complaint here. The complaint is not the fact that.
1 second. Bear with me. Yeah, as it stands at the moment, you've been paid up to the 14th, up to and including the 14th of August,
Okay.
2022.
So if I've been paid up to the 14th of August, like I said, can I ask when did you become aware that I was not providing the care? When did you receive that report?
Bear with me 1 second. Give me a second. Sorry about this. This system is really awkward.
No problem. Take your time. think, looking at the notes, the reason why your payment stopped in August wasn't because there was an allegation that you weren't caring. I think it was to do with the way that the system works, and it was the system that suspended your ongoing payments. And what happens is, every time the system suspends it, we are supposed to reinstate the payments. It's a quirk with the system. I'm sorry.
Then after that, it looks like, bear with me 1 second, I'm just trying to find the right note. we issued a form out to you on the 4th of October, but I can't see what's prompted that. Why are we issuing a form out to you on the 4th of October?
Sir, with respect, sir, that's not the focus of the inquiry. The focus is that my payments, as you've confirmed, were suspended in August.
It's been suspended since August.
Yes.
That's right.
So obviously something must have occurred that suspended the payments. So the letter I've got in front of me states this. Look, this says here, I'm writing in regards to your claim for carer's allowance. You must ask. You have asked for a written reason as to why the claim was suspended. So I asked for a written explanation, and it says you claim. So it's not even spelled correctly. You claim was suspended as we have reason to believe you may not be providing 35 hours of care for Mr. Talib Hussain. So that is the reason that you've given me on the 14th in the letter. Yeah, on the letter of the 14th of December.
That's the one you got on the 14th of December, is that right?
Yeah, that's the one saying LH1290313. Yes. So.
Yeah. Bear with me 1 second.
Do you have a copy of that letter?
Bear with me 1 second. I will have a look.
Yeah, sure.
We should have.
Yeah, you should have. Yes.
Give me a second. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Bear with me 1 second.
Excellent.
Let me have a look at it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. It is exactly as you say it is.
Yes.
Bear with me 1 second. Oh dear. That's not good. Yeah. It's got the wrong information on the bottom. Writing in regard to care allowance, you've asked for written. Your claim was suspended as we have reason to believe you may not be providing 35 hours care for Mr. Talib Hussain. Replied to your claim in August and passed to action. 1st of October, the decision maker advised us to issue a form, which asks you to confirm you are caring and to get Mr. Talib Hussain's personal acting body also to confirm this. This form was sent on the 4th of October. We've not received it back yet. I've enclosed another copy of the form with this letter. If we do not receive a reply by the 14th of January, i.e. Friday just gone, your claim will be terminated. You can claim care allowance or report.
Okay, so with regards, it's not Friday, it's Saturday, and obviously I've sent an email confirming this, so you now do have that returned. But no, let's just focus in on this aspect of my complaint. We're not focusing on my claim here. We're focusing on my complaint, which I first lodged with yourself on the 20th of October. Now, on the 20th of October, because obviously, if you read the letter of the date, they make a reference to a letter dated the 4th of October.
Bear with me 2 seconds.
Yep.
I need to share something with you about that. Give me a second. Let me find the right note.
Okay.
Yeah, here we go. Right. Note dated the 20th of October. Customer called, wanted to change address, and also wanted to make a complaint and needed more time to send the letter.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yep.
Nothing about what the nature of the complaint was. It just says you wanted to make a complaint. So the information is incomplete.
Yes, sir. And as I explained, just for your information, all my calls are recorded as well. And in that call, and that call was taken by a third party, and one of your GS operatives.
G4S staff.
Yes,
That's right.
yes. So the complaint, if I've said in the call that I'm raising a complaint, they took down my complaint, because I wouldn't say I'm just going to make a complaint. The purpose I'm a very focused individual, so the purpose of the call was, first of all, to update you about a change of address. Number one. Number two, I wanted to know. I wanted to get an extension of time, because obviously I was not in a position to provide. So I've asked for an extension of time. It is during that call that information had been made aware to me that my payments had been suspended since August. So because I became aware.
Right.
So because I became aware of that fact, then I said, well, that doesn't make any sense to me, because obviously you've asked for information, you've suspended the payments a couple of months ago, and then you're sending me a letter inquiring about. So that was the basis of my complaint. So I lodged a formal complaint then, and I also said, because a complaint had been lodged and I wanted to find out this information, I also made a subject access request on that call.
They've changed the name. It's bear with me 1 second. It's now a RAR, not an SAR. Bear with me 2 seconds.
What does the R stand for?
I'll tell you in a minute. Give me a second if I can find the right one. Give me a second. Yeah, it's now called a right of access request.
Okay, all right. Well, is that you can call it as an organization whatever you want, all right? But the subject access request, or a SAR, is what is referenced in the legislation.
Right.
Okay.
But we've been told it's no longer called a SAR. It's now called an RAS, right of access request.
Okay, well, I mean, like I said, how a particular organization chooses to implement the legislation is entirely up to them, as long as it's still compliant with.
I appreciate that, sir, but as I say, you need to take that up with the other person rather than me.
Yes, that's fine.
I'm only telling you what we've been told.
Okay, all right, sir. Because irrespective of the terminology, I will take that up with your data protection officer when I speak to them. So that's another point I will be taking up with them, because irrespective, I mean, the SAR is a subject access request, which is a terminology used in the data protection legislation, which I've been using. But irrespective, a subject access request was made. Just for our understanding, could you refer to it as a SAR rather than a RA, because I've not heard that terminology before. Yeah. So so can you understand that there would be the justification? The justification is that I rang up. Why did I ring up? Because I was supposed to provide you with some information by that date. So I rang up and said, look, I've only received this letter because it came on a previous address. So I'm ringing up to say, can we get a change of address? And that's the justification for getting an extension of time. It's during that.
Okay.
It is during that call that I've been made aware that my payments had been suspended since August. I was personally not made aware. I was not aware of this because I've not been checking my bank account. So irrespective, when I become aware of this, I've said that, well, obviously that doesn't make sense to me, because you've suspended the payment several months ago, and then you're asking for information several months later. So that's the basis of my complaint. Now, obviously.
Hang about. As I said, I don't think your payments were suspended because we weren't sure whether you were caring. I think it was suspended for a different reason.
What is that reason?
It's a technical hitch with the system, because every so often it suspends your payments and then we reinstate it immediately.
Sir,
it's a glitch with the system.
Okay, well, this
occurs with some customers.
Okay, with respect, sir, this is the first time I've been made aware of this, and that what you're telling me now, telling me now on the telephone cannot be correct. And I'll explain to you why it cannot be correct. I believe that, obviously, because a formal complaint was lodged on the 20th of October, and then subsequently I've got this letter in front of me, which you now got in front of you, which explains there was no glitch. There was no technical problem. It says here, your claim was suspended as we have reason to believe that you may not be providing the 35 hours care.
Yeah.
It doesn't mention any glitch. It doesn't mention where you're assuming it may be a glitch regarding what your personal experiences on other matters. Somebody's actually looked into this because a formal complaint was raised on the 20th of October, and they've come back and explained to me that obviously they must have got informed that by somebody, all right, that I'm not providing the 35 hours care.
I think the information on this letter is wrong.
Okay, sir.
I think what they've actually put on the letter is incorrect.
Okay.
It's correct that it was suspended from August, but I don't think that had anything to do with us checking whether you were still caring or not. I think it was suspended because of the internal glitch, and I think the person that's written this letter has just assumed that it was suspended because we weren't sure whether or not you were caring for your brother.
Okay, who's written this letter? Who's written this letter?
I don't know, but I will find out.
Okay, sir. Earlier on in the conversation, when we started the conversation, you explained to me that if you make a data breach, that you personally are held liable. That's what you. That was your own understanding, was it? That's something that you're going to find out about.
I believe so.
I want the.
Find out for certain.
Yes.
But I believe that is the case.
Yes. So with that context in mind, I want the name of the person who wrote this letter, because obviously it's not just. Can you understand? You and I in this conversation, in our time of conversation, have come up with so many irregularities in this one letter. Number one, it doesn't even have. It says here office manager. It doesn't even have a name of a person. We previously discussed the fact that it's got the wrong template letter. It's got the old email domain name.
It's an old letter.
Yeah. It's an old template. It's an old template letter.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, and then obviously what's been provided to me. Remember, we're not focusing on my claim right now. We're just focusing on my complaint. My complaint was logged on the 20th. My complaint was logged with yourself on the 20th of October, and I explained.
Right.
And I explained the circumstances behind that. I've rang up several other times to get an update. I finally received an update, which is the letter dated the 14th of December, which you and I have in front of us. So that's I've now received a response to that complaint. And the purpose of me having this conversation with you is that the information provided to me in the letter is not satisfactory and does not address the complaint, because obviously the complaint was, why had you suspended my payments on a belief system and then waited or several months later to ask me for the information. So that was the reason that I'm having this discussion with yourself, saying that the answer that you provided is not satisfactory. After having conversed with you now, you're explaining to me that not even the contents of the letter is not accurate.
Yeah, I don't think it is. I'm not 100% certain yet, but I will investigate further and I will find out.
Okay, sir. Okay.
I think, as I say, I think the reason why your payments were suspended is because of a glitch with the system, not because we were made aware of the fact that you might not be caring for your brother. I think that came around later.
Oh no, sir.
I think what they've done is they've just telescoped it and said, we need to know if you're still caring for your brother, and we've suspended your payments from August. But I don't think we suspended your payments from August because there was some doubt about whether you were caring for your brother. I think the payments got suspended because of the glitch in the system.
Okay, but this glitch in the system, there's no external reference to this. It's basically, I have to take your word upon it.
In the letter.
Yeah, there's no reference in this letter. There's no, obviously, with respect, sir, I've made you aware the call is being recorded, so you're aware of this. How do I know you're not just making stuff up on the spot?
You have no way of knowing.
Yes, I don't. So I can only go on what's written in front of me. So can you understand that in this informal conversation?
I understand what you're saying.
Yep.
But what I need to do is I need to investigate further.
Yes, you do.
To the bottom of what's happened, who wrote the letter,
yes,
and sent it to you, and find out why they've done it.
Okay.
Why they used an old template.
Yes.
And why they've said what they've said in the letter.
Yes, that's
yeah. I personally don't think that's accurate.
Yes,
I think, as I've said,
okay,
it stopped because of the glitch, and that later on there was some doubt about whether or not you were caring for your brother, and we've made inquiries on that basis. That's why we sent the form out to you on the 4th of October.
Okay, so what? Yeah, I understand, sir, but So what you're saying is that the suspension of the payments is uncorrelated with your inquiries in October?
I think so, yes.
Okay, and if they are uncorrelated, that means your hands are clean. But if there is a correlation between the two, which I suspect, I mean, you have a right to make assertions and assumptions, yes, regarding a glitch in the system. It is my understanding that something fraudulent is happening. All right, so it plays into.
I don't think so.
No, I know, sir. I don't think there's a problem with the glitch in the system. All right, you like I said, you have a right to state that there's a glitch in the system.
Yeah.
All right, I have a right to have a different interpretation and an understanding that there is fraud taking place here. Obviously, you're on the telephone call. You're not going to accept a fraud, or you're not going to make any admissions to that, and I accept that, and nobody's asking you to do that. You've given me your perspective. You're stating your perspective. There's some sort of glitch in the system. All right, and now, as you're aware, I've been a carer now for since 2002, for 20 years now. So I've never come across this glitch before. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna say that that's hogwash regarding the pretext of a glitch in the system, because the alternative is my interpretation is there's clear fraud taking place here. But irrespective of your interpretation or my interpretation, let's focus in on the facts. And the fact is this letter that you have in front of you and I have in front of me. All right, this letter is evidence, isn't it? This letter is undisputable. We're not going to have a debate about this. The letter in front of you, you clearly agreed to me that this is using an old template, a 2013 template.
I've already acknowledged that, sir.
And also the fact.
As I say, I will make inquiries about it, and I'll find out what's gone on. I'll get to the bottom of it.
And you're going to tell me. Yes, and you're going to tell.
We will sort it out.
Yes, sir.
In the meantime, let me get back to your claim.
Oh, just one second, sir.
Still caring?
Yes.
Are you still caring for your brother for 35 hours?
So just one second, sir. Before we continue with this, like I said, I've had an opportunity. We'll move on from this. I was just summarizing that you're gonna go look into this letter. You're gonna find out You're gonna give me the name of the person, because I'm now making an allegation that there's fraud taking place here. All right, and in order.
I don't think so.
And no, so why do you jump to that? Why do you say that?
Well, because, bear with me 2 seconds, your payment stopped in August, we only started, bear with me 2 seconds, your payment stopped it you were paid up to the 14th of August, stopped from the 15th of August, bear with me 2 seconds, bear with me. I think the problem is what they've written in that letter.
No, sir. No, it's not. It's not the problem in the letter. The problem is that my payments got suspended. Now, I believe the aspect of suspending my payments in the manner that has happened is fraudulent. Because normally what happens is that so just to clarify, you are within your rights to suspend payments if I don't provide you with information. But you've not even requested the information, and you just stopped payment. So I believe that's fraudulent.
As I've explained, I don't believe it was a human that stopped it. I think it was the system that suspended it.
Computer systems only do what programs tell them to do.
I know that, sir. But there are reasons, as I say, with this glitch that suspended. But as I say, we can reinstate it, and we're quite happy to do that.
Sir.
With respect, I think you're reading more into this
than
it
sir.
Actually is.
Well, sir, let me explain something. That I had made it quite clear that I will not be providing the information until I receive a response letter. All right. So first of all, try to understand this. The money is I think £67 a week. Which is basically a point of.
69.70.
69, irrespective, it's under £70 a week. It's not exactly. We're not breaking the bank here. But the point here is not the priority of the money. All right, because I know I know what I'm doing. I'm providing the care. If in my absence, but there's something malicious and malevolent going on outside of the scope of this.
I don't think so.
No, sir.
I really don't think so.
All right, sir.
I think we've made mistakes. We've been clumsy in the way that we've dealt with it. I will accept that.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything malicious going on.
Okay, sir. Because you have a right to hold that opinion. But would you possibly entertain the idea that the Department of Work and Pension can act in a criminal manner?
Yes.
Okay. Would you entertain the idea that the Department of Work and Pension can commit fraud?
No, I would say that individuals within the DWP can commit fraud.
Okay, but
the department itself doesn't.
No.
Shouldn't be doing.
Well, shouldn't be doing. So, but it could be doing.
academic argument that I'm not prepared to enter.
Okay, fair enough.
I concede that individuals may commit fraud.
Okay.
But in this case, I don't think it's an individual committing fraud.
Okay, sir.
I think we've been clumsy with
No.
the claim and we've handled it badly.
No,
but
sir.
I don't think there's any fraud involved.
Okay, sir. Like I said, can I just ask how long have you been? It's a personal question. You don't have to answer it. Can I ask how long you've been with the
I'm quite happy to answer it.
How long?
August 1996.
1996.
Yeah.
Wow, man. So, so you've been with the DWP
26 years.
26 years. So I presume that you are fully familiar with an individual that I am going to mention, whose name I'm going to mention now. Is Stuart McKinnon Evans?
Possibly, I don't know.
Is Stuart McKinnon Evans?
The name doesn't ring a bell, but there are lots and lots of people who work for carers allowance and within the DWP.
No, sir. Sir, Stuart McKinnon Evans is not just a worker. He was the financial director for the DWP. All right. So Stuart McKinnon Evans, obviously he does not work for the DWP now, but in his resume he has worked as the financial director for the DWP. Can you understand that?
Yeah, but hang about, wait a minute. The DWP is the umbrella name for the entire benefit system.
Yes, that's correct.
I only work for carers allowance.
I know, sir.
So I don't know this person.
No, I'm not asking.
Their name doesn't mean anything to me.
Sir, I accept this, but can you understand? You work in an organization. Can I ask? Do you know the chief executive of the Department of Work and Pensions?
No, sir.
Okay.
I'm not expected to do my job.
That's fair enough, sir. But can you see, as an organization, you are ultimately held accountable to the chief executive, I would presume. Okay.
Well, we're ultimately held accountable to the Prime Minister and the government.
No, but that's correct as well. But with regards to because it's a department of government, okay? So, yes, you're right. You're right.
We're answerable to the government.
And the government's answerable to Prince Charles, the monarch. Yes. So we can go up the hierarchy as.
Yes and no, it's a constitutional monarchy.
Okay, so
you are asking me questions that are beyond my grade.
Okay, sir, and you don't have to answer them.
These kind of questions you need to be placing with senior management.
Yeah, that's correct, sir.
The people on the shop floor.
That's correct, sir. And I'm fully appreciative of who you are on the shop floor. And any questions that you don't want to answer, or you feel that it's above your pay, or you don't.
It's not a case of not wanting to answer. It's the case of that I'm not able to answer.
Yes, that's fine.
Because it's to do with the senior management of the Department of Work and Pensions.
That's fine.
I don't get involved with that.
That's fair enough, sir. That's fair enough. If you're not willing in a position to answer, just say I don't want to answer that. That's fair. I'm not going to take offense to that.
It's not that I don't want to answer. It's that I'm not able to answer.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair enough.
You need to be directing your questions elsewhere.
Okay, sir. Because the thing is, the reason that we've had this trajectory in the conversation is because remember I said I feel I'm being subjected to fraud. All right, and you could. I take issue with the fact that you're saying, well, you're not willing to entertain that idea, and I'm saying I know this is.
In this case, I'm not. There's no evidence to suggest that there's fraud happening.
Okay.
Yes, we've made mistakes. There's evidence to say that we've made mistakes. I'm quite happy to admit that.
Yeah.
But I'm not prepared to admit that any of them are fraudulent.
Okay, but
I can't see any evidence to support that.
Okay, sir. That's fair enough. But you're not investigating a fraud, are you?
Not at the moment.
No.
I don't believe that there is one.
Yeah. So
I'm going to be investigating the mistakes.
Yes, all right. So you've already accepted the mistakes that you're going to be investigating, but you're not a fraud investigator. You're not investigating a fraud, and nobody's expecting you to investigate a fraud. But where I take.
If I can just stop you there, we've now been on the phone for an hour.
It's irrespective.
I need to sort this out. I do have other customers I need to deal with.
Sir, that's fair enough.
So if I can just sort your claim out, and I will refer your concerns on to senior management.
Okay, sir.
We will get to the bottom of
Okay,
this.
sir. All right. Just one moment, sir. The purpose of this call, we may have been on it for an hour. There were 2 complaints that I had lodged in October, and then obviously there was a subject access request that I need to deal with yourself today, which I would like to deal with before we deal with my complaint. Because for me, sir, the payments have been suspended since August. This is a failure on your part. Having it resolved today or tomorrow, it makes no issue. There will be consequences for the actions taken in August. But so before we deal with my claim, which is the suspension of payments, what I would like to do is I wanted to address the issue of the subject access request. Now, so that's the next thing I would like to discuss before reinstating or finding out where we are with the complaint. Like I said, that's not a priority for me right now. My priorities are I've lodged complaints to get to the information of what's been happening here, because I believe that there's something fraudulent happening. Now, moving on from the subject of the complaints regarding this information that you've requested, you've obviously received it now because I've had that confirmed in a call with your colleague earlier on today.
What, sorry?
You've received the reply from the information that you've requested in October and then again in December. You've received that information.
Bear with me 1 second. Right. Yes. Looks like
Yeah. So can I just confirm? Did you?
Bear with me 1 second, please. Right, we've got the form back, yeah?
Yeah. So you've received that form. Can I ask? Did you receive it through the post or did you receive it via email?
No, I don't know at this moment. Just bear with me. The problem is it's signed by your brother, so we can't accept it. It has to be signed by his personal acting body.
No, there's no personal acting body in this case, sir. This is where the fraud arises, okay? But just 1 second, sir. We'll discuss this in a moment, sir, because I believe something fraudulent is happening. Just 1 second, sir. Before we discuss this form, which you're not willing to accept right now, where it says only one box needs to be signed, all right? My brother signed the box, but just 1 second, sir. Before we get onto this subject, can we deal with my subject access request?
Well, I'm not sure what it is you want from us at this moment in time.
Well, I'll explain, sir. I'll explain. On the 20th of October, I made a subject access request. I was expecting full disclosure by November. When I rang up in November, I was told that there was no subject access request, all right, and that a further request needed to be made. So I made a further request expecting disclosure by December. And when I rang up in December...
Right, stop there, back up. Bear with me 2 seconds. Right, let me find the right note. Oh, this stupid system. Thank you. Bear with me. Yeah. Right. On the note dated the 20th of October, as I say, there's no mention of a request for a SAR or a RAR.
Okay.
Yeah? It says that you want to make a complaint, but it doesn't specify what the complaint is.
Okay.
Okay. So, did you make another one after that then?
When is the next time I called? Was it the next time I called on the 14th or 4th of November?
Bear with me 2 seconds. November. Customer called, chasing up complaint made on the 20th of October, also made a subject access request on this date. This date presumably being the 4th of November.
No, this date, sorry.
Being the 20th of October, was it?
So
as I say, there's no mention of that on the note for the 20th of October.
Sir, okay, that's fair enough. So I did make a subject request on the 20th of October. The call was recorded, and that's hence the basis of my complaint as to be reviewed. But obviously, so on the 4th of November, the persons wrote on this date remaining today, the 4th of November. However, it mentioned from my perspective, it was the 20th of October that I'm saying this date because in the context of the so do you accept a SAR was made on the 4th of November then?
It would appear so. There's reference made to it.
Yeah. Okay. So when I've
Give me 1 second. I'm just reading the note. 27th of October, amending. Right, this bit. Customer also wishes to make a formal complaint regarding letter sent on the 27th of October, amending decision in February 21. Yeah?
Yep.
That was me. I did that, and I'll explain what I've done and why I did it.
Okay, go on ahead.
Yeah. Right. Your previous claim finished from the 21st of February 2021. Yeah? You then claimed again for looking after your brother from the 20th of February 2021. Yeah? When they input that decision, they got it wrong, and I'm 99% certain it was a typing error. And what they said was, we can't entitle you from the 20th of February 2021 to the 21st of March 2021. What that should have said was, we can't entitle you from the 20th of February 2021 to the 21st of February 2021, and then they entitled you from the 22nd of March 2021. That should have been the 22nd of February 2021. Yeah?
Okay.
So I revised that decision and I corrected it, and I said, we can't entitle you from the 20th of February to the 21st of February, but we can and have entitled you from the 22nd of February 2021. That way then you got that month's entitlement that you'd been deprived of on the previous decision.
Okay.
So I was correcting a previous mistake.
Okay, sir. So if you were correcting a previous mistake, understand that I was not even aware of this mistake, because I had made an application.
Right.
I had made an application to get carers allowance on the 20th of February, because that's when my on the 19th of February my caring role for my mother was forcibly terminated, and so therefore I was concurrently caring for two people, my mother and my brother. Right. So in February 19th of February 2021, my caring role for my mother stopped under unusual circumstances, but that's outside the scope of our conversation. So in parallel I was continuing to care for my brother, but so I put in an application on the 20th of February. Now obviously
Stop there. Right, we were told that you stopped caring for your mum on the 20th of February, so we closed your claim down from the 21st of February.
Yes.
Now, the law says you can't claim for two people at the same time.
Yes.
So we entitled you for looking after your brother from the Monday after
your
claim for your mum stopped.
Yeah, that's correct, sir. So we're talking about
Does that make sense?
So we're talking about a couple of days here. All right. So it is because I had already got paid for the whole week. So on Monday the 15th of February, I got paid all the way up to the 21st or up until Sunday. So I would have got paid for the whole week, so I wouldn't have been able to claim anyway. But my claim for carers allowance, I started caring for my brother on the 20th of restarted care, in parallel was continuing to care for my brother, and so I put that claim in. So yes, you're right. The claim should have started from the 21st of.
They cheated you out of a month.
And if they cheated me out of
because of that mistake.
Okay.
So I corrected that
for
you.
Oh well, thank you, sir, for correcting a mistake. But from my perspective, understand that I didn't even know they cheated me out for a month. I didn't even know this.
Yeah.
Okay. So because as you can appreciate, carers allowance takes a substantial amount of time to come through. All right. So can I ask, when was the first payment made for my brother for Talib Hussain?
Bear with me 1 second. Bear with me. So let me have a look. February 21. Right, give me a second. Pardon me. So it looks like right, okay. So what they've done, you were paid for looking after your mum up to the 21st of March. Yeah?
21st of March?
So what they've done is this 21st of March.
Okay.
Yeah. So what they've done is they've started the payments for your brother from the 22nd of March.
Okay.
Yeah. But that would explain why they did what they did, and they only gave you entitlement for your mum, entitlement for looking after your brother from the 22nd of March. But that's actually wrong, because you claimed from the 20th of February. So what they should have done it a different way.
Yeah.
That would have given you the entitlement for your brother from the 20th of February. But they didn't do that. They only entitled you for your brother from the 22nd of March. So I corrected that for you, gave you the entitlement from the 22nd of February.
Yes.
You'd already been paid for your mum up until the 22nd of March. So they only started the payments for your brother from the 23rd of March. But you have actually been paid correctly.
Yeah, so I was not shortchanged anything from the period of February to March. The payment should have been for my brother, but you had mistakenly continued to pay me for my mother.
Well, that's not the issue. The issue was they didn't give you the entitlement for that first month of claiming for your brother. So at some later point, somebody could have said, because you don't have entitlement for that month, you've been overpaid and you have to pay it back.
Yes, but
I stopped that from happening.
But the reality was that I was being overpaid for my mother when I was not caring for her.
Right, bear with me 2 seconds. Yeah, I understand that. Right, let me explain. If you tell me in time that there's been a change in circumstances, and you get paid beyond that date, any overpayment is not your responsibility.
Yep.
Because we knew about it on time. We should have stopped the payments on time, but we didn't.
Yep.
So if there's an overpayment, it's not your issue, it's ours.
Yep.
If you tell me late, then any overpayment you have to pay back up to when you tell us. And then anything after that is our responsibility. Yeah?
Okay.
So yes, there was an overpayment, but if you told us on time that you stopped caring for your mum, that wouldn't have been your overpayment.
Okay.
But the way they did it, they only gave you entitlement for your brother from March, and they should have given you entitlement for your brother from February.
Okay, sir.
So I corrected that decision.
Okay.
And gave you the entitlement for your brother from February.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for that correction. And obviously, there's been a payment that I was not aware of that I got received. That's fair enough, sir. But that was a complaint that I'm trying to focus in on the subject access request. So on when I rang up on the 4th I made reference to the subject access request of the 20th of October. When it says this date, I was referring to the 20th of December. Hence why. Can you just read the notes for my next call?
Right, bear with me 1 second. Let's find it again. Right, there. 18th November. Customers called to put in a complaint because have not got his access request info. Sent this on. So they made a referral and sent it back to us. That was on the 18th of November.
Okay, so on the 18th of November, the reason for my call is that I was expecting disclosure by the 20th of October, 20th of November. So it's my policy normally to ring up a couple of days just beforehand in any organization just to remind them that there's a disclosure to be taken place. So on the 18th of November, I had rang up saying that I'm expecting disclosure by the 20th of November. It is at this stage that I was made aware that actually no subject access request was made on the 20th of October, and actually the request was made on the 4th of November. And I said, well, that can't be correct.
That's what the notes suggest, yeah.
Yes. So they suggested that it was on the 4th of November. So I said, okay, well, not a problem. I mean, like I said, we're not going to be counting days here. Yeah. So I was then expecting a disclosure by the 4th of December. So the DWP have accepted my SAR request because obviously you're making, as you're saying, there's references to it. So then I believe the next call after that was on the 8th of December.
Bear with me 1 second. 9th of December.
Okay, so on the 9th of December, after having not received my SAR request, can you just read the notes for that?
Bear with me 1 second. Customer called regarding previous two complaints requesting the SAR request or RAR request. Urgent handoff to carers allowance to have this matter looked into. Customer has asked for written confirmation of updates of the progress of his complaints. Need to call dated 20th of October to be listened to. Yeah, bear with me. Right, give me a second. Right, yeah. Right, okay, yeah. January 13th. Escalated as customer is threatening legal action if the SAR request isn't received by him tomorrow, 14th of January.
Yes.
Previous complaints are not handled. Right.
So
okay.
Could we just focus in on this point? So on the 9th of December, I've rang up, saying, like, where's my SAR request that I made in October, which you said it was in November, which should have been received by me now in December. And then between the 9th and the 14th of December, I've received some paperwork. And one of the paperwork regarding the subject access request is, I've got this letter in front of me here, is DP...
You've gone muffled then, I didn't hear you.
Sorry. So, like I said, in December, between the 9th of December, my last telephone call to you, and then...
I can't hear you, so you're very muffled.
So, hello, is that better?
That's better,
Yeah. So, sorry, sir. So I said between the 9th of December when I've called you, and then on the 14th of December, which is the date of the letters, all right, I've received numerous correspondence. I didn't actually receive them until I think the 20th of December, but irrespective, we've got letters in front of me. One of the letters I've got in front of me is the same date, 14th of December, 2022. It's got a DPR reference number of 2022/9990. And at the bottom is the template is RARL1, all right. And in that letter, so that's the template letter that I received on the 14th of December, alongside all the other correspondence. It's got a DPR reference number of 2022/9990, and it says here that we have received your request for information to hold about you. We call this a right of access request. Right. You have asked for copies of all information held on the DWP records, including recordings of the telephone call for the period of 14/1/2002 to 20/10/2022. So basically, from January 2002 to October 2022, 20 years. Any call recordings I've requested that. We will respond to your request within 1 calendar month. You do not need to contact us before then. So this is the information, right? So I've not contacted you until Friday, just to remind you that the 14th was due, the Saturday the 14th. I was expecting full subject access request disclosure, threatening legal action because you had violated your statutory obligations. So in regards to in the context of this subject access request, the questions I have is that, number one, why was my SAR request of October not dealt with? Why, if that was failed upon, why was the SAR request of 4th of November not dealt with in time? And then, having accepted the SAR request of the 14th of December, why is it that today I do not have all the information in front of me?
Right, bear with me 1 second. Right, so tell me again, what was that letter, that RAR letter you've got?
The RAR letter...
The reference number... Yeah.
So the RAR letter that I've got is 14th of December 2002. Sorry, 22.
Slow down. 14/12/22.
Yep.
Yeah. And what's the reference on it?
If you write to us, please use the reference DPR.
Yeah.
2022.
Yeah.
/99990.
Right, so that's D for Delta, P for Papa, R for Romeo.
Yep.
22 /
No, sorry.
99.
Sorry, no. It's DPR 2022. So 2022.
2022. DPR 2022 / 99990.
Yes.
Right, okay. Right. Bottom line is, I don't know the answer, but I will find out and I will get back to you. I or one of my colleagues will get back to you.
Okay. Okay.
But hopefully fairly soon, but I can't give you an exact time scale.
That's fair enough, sir.
But
I would.
I understand what you're saying,
I would.
and I will get back to you about it.
Okay, sir. As in our previous conversation today, on this call, you've advised me that the DPR is going to contact me, the data protection officer of the DWP. I would suggest that gets relayed to them. But irrespective, as it stands today, and considering the fact that you've informed me at the start of the conversation when I asked who your third-party contractor was, and you were telling me the seriousness of the Data Protection Act and how I could end up effectively suing you.
As I said,
I've
said at that point, I misunderstood.
It's okay,
what
sir.
You were getting at.
It's all right, sir.
Since then, I have confirmed
Yes.
that the people manning our phones are
Yes.
G4S.
That's fine, sir. But the reason I make reference to that is because the seriousness of it. All right, you've explained to me that I could potentially sue you, and I explained I don't intend to sue you, but I do intend to sue the DWP for statutory violations in law, which is a statutory violation of the Data Protection Act 2018. States that I can make a subject access request, and within 30 calendar days, a subject access request must be complied with. So I just need to put the data protection officer, whom you're going to be liaising with me and asking them to call me on, that rather than there's nothing to investigate. The law is black and white upon this. You have 30 calendar days, and in this conversation, like I said, there have been previous attempts to make the SAR request on since the 20th of October, all right, 4th of November, all been failed upon. When you have got around to accepting it, you've still failed to provide me with this information. You've not updated me with this information, like why there's a delay. You've not asked for an extension of time. The bottom line is that as it stands today, the 16th of September, 16th of January 2023, you, the Department of Work and Pensions, are in statutory violation of the Data Protection Act 2018, and I will be taking further action upon this. But at this moment in time, I want to just provide you with the opportunity to obviously give me a response to that.
Can I stop you there?
Yep.
To be honest, most of what you've discussed in this conversation, you really should have kept until you spoke with the data protection officer.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned, what you should have said is, can you get in touch with your data protection officer and ask them to contact me, please?
It's okay, sir.
And then you could have had the conversation with the data protection officer, who would have had more information than I've got.
That's fine, sir. That's fine, sir.
But I will.
Yep.
I will contact the data protection officer, and I will ask them to get in touch with you.
Okay, that's fair enough,
And
sir.
you can raise your concerns with them,
Okay.
but I will relay what you've told me today.
Yes, sir. So I mean, like I said, you contacted myself when I had rang back. The reason I didn't,
right.
the reason I didn't do so, you left me a voice message this morning. When I rang back to speak to your colleague, and I've asked, can I speak to yourself? And she's told me that the message left on the system is that you will attempt to call me later on. Then I asked her.
That's right.
I asked her, why is he calling me? All right,
She wouldn't know.
No, she did. She told me that it's regarding the data protection, the SAR request, or she told me that it's regarding the disclosure request that I had made. So that's what information. Hence why so that's the information that I've got. So she told me that the reason that you're calling me is because of the subject access request, which I would think is a higher priority, considering you're not.
I didn't put that on the note, though.
All right, but she must have read something or the.
I'm not saying she didn't tell you that, but what I'm saying is I didn't write that on the note. All I said was I was contacting you and that I would call you back later.
Yes.
And I said, if the customer calls back, please advise the customer that I will try and make contact again and to stay close to his phone.
Okay,
that's all I wrote. I didn't say why I was calling.
Yes. So when I asked her why is he calling, she did not say I do not know or I do not have that information. She provided me with information. She said that the reason is because of your subject access request.
Right.
So
it wasn't because of the subject access request particularly.
Yes.
But I didn't put anything on the note as to why I was calling you.
Yeah, that's fair enough, sir. And the note that you read was relayed to me. But then when I asked, why is he calling? All right, because you're not given a reason. So she then provided me the reasons, hence why I've
spent. She shouldn't have done. She should have said, I don't know, you'll have to wait for him to contact
That's correct. But she didn't do that. She actually told me that it was regarding the subject access request. So that's why I've been discussing this. So if you can just move the final point of this call, obviously, which I'm sure you're looking to enter, is regarding the letters that you've received regarding the claim. So I'm satisfied that we've up to this point that we've dealt with the situation, all the other outstanding issues. I appreciate that you're not the subject data protection officer. They don't even have to talk to me. I have to speak speak to the call handler, which is yourself. I've made yourself aware that right now your chief executive or the senior management need to be made aware that you are in statutory breach of the data protection legislation. And obviously in the call, and the reason I make reference to our earlier conversation is simply because that on the one hand you're telling me how serious the Data Protection Act you as an individual will be taking, and effectively telling me how important or how seriously the organization as a whole must be taking the Data Protection Act, i.e. not leaking my data to other people, and how I could potentially sue you, and I said I could sue the organization. But this is a very serious matter, because this is right now on the 16th of January, you, the DWP, are committing effectively acting against the law. You're committing a criminal act.
Yeah.
Because
I appreciate what you're saying. You need to leave it with me, and I'll sort it out, sir.
Okay, sir. So now can we move on to the claim itself?
Well, as I say, we've been on now for an hour and a half.
Yes, sir. So let's just address this issue quickly, sir. So you've asked for some information. I've provided that information to you in two folds. I've provided you with it in writing through the postal system, and I also emailed it to yourself on Saturday.
Yeah.
So what's the problem?
Right. As I've said, the form is countersigned by your brother, but apparently your brother has a personal acting body, so the form has to be countersigned by their personal acting body rather than your brother himself.
No, this is not correct, sir. Can I take you to the form? Do you have the form in front of you?
I can't argue with that.
No, sir. It's not about me arguing. All right. Can I just take you to the form where my brother signed?
Go on.
Can you bring up that form?
Bear with me 1 second.
The DS.
Right. Go on.
DS829M. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. At the top of the page, it says the person you are caring for or their representative must now read the notes below and complete and sign the relevant statements in either box 1 or 2 or 3. All right. So it's the word is either box 1, 2, or 3. All right. So it says only one statement needs to be signed.
Needs to be signed.
Yes. So just hold on for a second. So my brothers proceeded to sign box 1. That's it.
Yeah.
Right. So the letter says that either 1, 2, or 3, but only one of them needs to be signed. And on the bottom of that letter, box 1 is signed.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it. End of story. All right. I followed your instructions to the letter. All right. It says either box 1. It does not say either box 1, 2, and 3. All right. And it does not say the nominated party.
Right. Okay.
All right.
Let me explain.
Okay.
If the disabled person doesn't have a legal representative, either an appointee, power of attorney, or a personal acting body, they can sign box 1. Yeah. If they do have an appointee, power of attorney, or a personal acting body, then their representative needs to sign for them on their behalf. Otherwise, what's the point of them having a legal representative?
Okay, all right, sir. So I'm just going to stop you there. I've signed the form that needs to go to the. You can give me that in writing now, all right? But just hold on a second, one moment, sir, before we end this call. And this is a very serious matter, and I would like to lodge a formal complaint now. All right. All right.
Go on.
So the formal complaint is this: that I have been my brother's DWP appointee, all right, for a number of years. And you can understand my brother signed over
Bear
his.
with me.
Sorry,
Bear with me 2 seconds.
Yeah, sure.
my database, it says that your brother has a personal acting body, but it doesn't say that he has an appointee.
Sir, I explained to you. I'm raising a formal complaint now. I have in
I heard that.
Yes, I have in the past been my brother's DWP appointee. Okay, in the past.
Right.
Okay, and now my brother, I believe, I'm not sure, but I believe I've been my brother's DWP appointee since, and hence why I've made a subject access request. I believe for up until 2016. All right. Now, so I have been my brother's DWP appointee up until 2016. You have unilaterally removed me as his DWP appointee in January, I believe February 2016. All right, without my authority to do so, without consulting me, without consent, without receiving my consent to do so. So that's the basis of my complaint. All right. So the basis of my complaint is that, do you understand that if my brother has given me DWP appointeeship, all right, if it's to be removed, it's like it can't be just removed unilaterally, like many other things, like for example, unilaterally suspending my payments. So and hence why this is the evidence of the fraud that's taking place. I'm not asking you to investigate the fraud. All I'm asking you to do is to investigate under what, if for a number of years prior to January 2016, I had been my brother Talib Hussein's DWP appointee. If at any stage that appointeeship has been removed, then that's the basis of my complaint, that the aspect of removing and having been informing me that you've been with the DWP since 1996, you're fully aware that the signing of a DWP appointee is a legal instrument. It just cannot be administratively.
I understand that, sir.
Yeah, so you understand.
So, as I say, I don't know what's happened about that, whether it was carers allowance that removed you as the appointee or a different benefit that removed you as the appointee. I don't know. I will have to investigate.
That can only be investigated if a complaint has been raised. So I've now raised that complaint in relation to my DWP appointeeship being removed unilaterally without my.
Yeah, but that's a separate issue.
Yeah, that's fair enough, sir. Yeah.
At the moment, the system says that your brother has a personal acting body, and they are the ones who should be signing that form on your brother's behalf.
No, sir, because we have no involvement. My brother has no so this is the aspect of the fraud. Because if there is a
but I can't do anything about it at this stage. I will need to refer back to management and see where we go from here.
Yes, you can refer to the management. So just to clarify, irrespective of what you're telling me on the telephone right now, all right, because you've mentioned to me about glitches in the system and what you're telling me on the telephone, which you're not putting in writing. It is correct. I have complied with what's written, isn't it? Like on what it says here is that the person you are caring for, or either the representative, must now read notice one below.
Bear with me. Let me bring it back. Not that one. Bear with me. Person you are caring for or their representative must now read the notes below and complete and sign the relevant statement in either boxes 1, 2, or 3. Only one statement needs to be signed.
Just stop there, sir. Stop there, sir.
Okay.
That's been complied with, hasn't it?
Well, that's debatable.
No. Can you see? No, sir.
No. Let me come back to you.
Yep.
You're very quick to tell me what's right and wrong. Let me tell you.
You're gone.
It says the person, or their representative. If your brother has a representative, then it must be the representative that signs the form. Now, the issue is, does he have a representative or not? That's what needs to be determined.
Sir.
I haven't finished yet.
Okay, go on.
I can't do that at this point. I will need to make further inquiries. If it turns out that he doesn't have a representative, then we can accept your brother's signature and sort it out accordingly. But I can't do that at this stage until I've determined whether or not your brother does have a legal representative.
Sir, are you finished?
Yeah.
Okay, so with regards to what's written down here, it says one box needs to be signed. That one box has been, that one box, you can see further down, box 1 has been signed, hasn't it?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm not disputing that.
So
the issue is who should be signing
no, sir.
Not whether only one box has been
Okay, sir, that's fair enough. You can investigate that. Like I said, I'm not really too bothered about this because ultimately it is you that the DWP are who are committing fraud and will be held liable. But the bottom line here, the issue here is not whether my brother has a representative. The issue here fundamentally is who's caring for him. Okay? So the fundamental issue here is that you're not paying carer's allowance based on if he has a representative or not a representative. Number one, is he entitled to receive carer's allowance because he has a disability? Yes. Does he have care needs? Yes. Are those care needs being met? Yes.
Whoa. Your brother doesn't get carer's allowance.
Sorry.
You do for looking after him.
Sir.
Yeah?
So
if your brother has a representative, then the representative has to countersign the form to confirm that you are actually caring for your brother.
Then we come back to the question of who raised the complaint in August.
Pardon?
Who raised the malicious complaint in August that I was not caring for him? And you're going to come back and say,
as I've said earlier,
yeah.
I don't think it was because of any
No,
that you weren't caring.
No, sir.
It was because of
I'll explain to you because obviously, so with respect,
sir, yeah. I wish to terminate the call. We're just going round in circles.
We're not, sir.
I'm getting really stressed by this, so I'm going to terminate the call, make some inquiries, and we'll get back to you. Bye.
Okay, sir. I don't mean to just stress you out. Yeah. See, when I hit the nail on the head. See, he just got caught out. This guy Steve, he works with Bradford Council. All right, he's been there since 1996. He's the one that's the culprit. All right, he's already mentioned to me about my mum's case. All right, this has got nothing to do with this DWP letter. It says there only one party needs to be signed. Now all of a sudden my brother's got a representative. I put a formal complaint in. How have I stopped becoming the representative? He's getting stressed out. The reason he's getting stressed out, he's quite happy to tell me that we're living under a monarchy and we're like everybody's the subject, and so we have no citizenship rights. This guy is the fraudster. I've caught him now. He's rang me up and telling me that I need to get a countersigned. I don't need to get anything countersigned. Okay, I've responded to the letter to the letter of what they've sent me. Okay, it does not say the representative. See, is emphasizing different things now. The bottom line is that my brother is entitled to have some carer's allowance. My brother's entitled to have somebody claim carer's allowance. All right, I am that person. All right, I said he's entitled to carer's allowance. All right, maybe that was axiomatically incorrect, but this guy is the fraudster. This guy is the deceptive guy. You see how he's been dancing around the subject. Okay, all right. He works for Bradford Council. He knows who Stuart McKinnon Evans is. He's a financial director. Obviously, he knows about senior management. Now he's telling me he's on the shop floor. He's not on the shop floor. Shop floor are those people that are taking in the calls. The G4S people. All right. Now you see when I got him right at the end. Yeah. That who put in that malicious claim. All right. That you're telling me now is a glitch in the system. It was no glitch in the system. All right. It's a system that they control. That Stuart McKinnon Evans through Bradford Council and all the rest of them deliberately suspended my payments in August, all right, without telling me, and now they're telling me it's a glitch in the system. They've all messed up, all right. Somebody's gobbledygook put this letter together, all right. They put this letter together to try to convince me that it's correct. He's even telling me that letter's not even correct, so it's been put together like this. Now he's telling me he's been on the call for an hour and a half and that he's getting stressed out. Why is he getting stressed out for? I'm just asking simple questions to him, all right. I've asked him simple questions, all right. I've not been rude or aggressive or to terminate the call. I've hit the point on the head here. You're telling me it's a glitch in the system. I'm telling you it's got nothing to do with the glitch in the system. The local authority told the Bradford DWP to suspend my payments without making me aware. All right, and he seems to be emphasizing the fact that he's got a representative and I must adhere to the representative. Or I'm not going to get paid. It doesn't matter if my brother's got a representative or not. I'm the one that's providing the care. All right, you're just changing the rules now. The rules are very specific. All right, I'm providing the care. All right, if they're not going to sign it, I don't want nothing to do with their personal representative. The complaint is that how did my DWP appointeeship get removed? Who's been removing my DWP appointeeship in January 2016? They unilaterally removed it. It's a fraudulent, corrupt organization. Fraudulent and corrupt to the core. All the senior management, the chief executives, the financial directors, all of them are fraudulently corrupt. The Department of Work and Pensions is an inherently fraudulent and corrupt organization. I spent an hour and a half talking with this person. The key subject aspect that we wanted to talk about, he wanted to his purpose of calling me today is trying to convince me that the people that are the people that are his representatives need to countersign, so they get me to go to the council to recognize this. I do not recognize these people. This matter has been debated in the courts. There's fraud taking place, all right, and these people are stopping my benefit payments, all right. The matter, quite clearly, you can see that this guy's a very malevolent individual. This Stephen or whatever his name was clearly ringing me up to try to give me some gobbledygook about, the law and how it works. This guy doesn't know what he's on about. They failed to provide me with a subject access request. I've made a formal complaint now. I want to make on today, the 16th of January. I want to know how my DWP appointeeship has been removed. Who removed it? This guy's still in my care. The key focus now, he's trying to focus on that. Who is his representative? All right, and I put a complaint in regarding this. Who is his representative? Who was his representative? I was his DWP representative up until 2016. I was entitled to receive all his benefit money. All right, the local authority convicted me because Stuart McKinnon Evans, who's the financial director for DWP, become a financial director for Bradford Council, who's now working for Bradford University, messed up in the direct payments that Talib was receiving, all right, from the council. So do you see how all this goes around full circle? He's now getting stressed out, all right. He's only getting stressed out and terminated the call because of the fact that I got him, all right. He's telling me that he's trying to explain to me, all right, that I should take his word for it, that there's a glitch in the system. There's no glitch in the system. Systems don't have glitches like this, all right. This was a deliberate attempt at fraud. So the very fact that my DWP payments have got suspended in August, all right, is where the fraud is, all right. They don't just stop payments like this and then several months later retrospectively try to get me to give them information regarding his representative, all right. In August, I didn't even know who his representative was. I didn't receive that information. It's only in October that they have informed me that the council is his representative through a fraud that's been committed in the Court of Protection by District Judge Beckley regarding having hearings assigning Bradford Council. All right, so ultimately this is a fraud and a deception by the DWP, all right, and this guy, he knows everything. He knows a lot more than he's letting on to, that he doesn't know about. He knows exactly what's going on. He knew what the purpose of this call was. His purpose was simply to wish-wash things around. I spent an hour and a half going through all this stuff. All right, he's been with DWP since 1996, so he's an perfect element or specimen of the fraud that's taking place. Why did he ring me up? I didn't ring him up. I've put in the forms. I've submitted the forms. All right. They're ringing me up the very next day to tell me the fact that I need to get something signed. I responded to the exact letter of the law. It's been signed by my brother. I'm caring for him. End of story. All right. We don't give a damn about what's my caring role got to do with the Department of Work and Pensions. All right. No. So what? Bradford Council. All right. And so yeah, this guy's a clear fraudster. He's getting agitated, all right. Did you see how he terminated the call? Because he was trying to say there's a glitch in the system, and I'm trying to say, what glitch are you talking about? All right, I've got you boys on every single point. You know, you don't get the. You don't, because the Bradford Council want me to have access to the property or have access to Talib. We're not giving him access to Talib, so now effectively they're blackmailing me by taking away my money, all right, taking away my benefit money. So this is quite clearly fraudulent by this person, all right. This is quite clearly. I did not terminate the call. He's telling me he's getting stressed out and ended the call when we're on a pivotal point. The key point here is that how did my payments get stopped in August? You're telling me there's some gobbledygook about a glitch in the system. I've never heard about the glitch in the system. I got a letter in front of me telling me the fact that this is not a glitch in the system, but this is because there was concerns regarding my ability to care. I'm telling you now, I'm caring for my brother. I've informed you previously. You've suspended my payments. He wanted to get the payments sorted out straight away. He didn't want to get the payments sorted. He has the power to reinstate the payments. He's telling me he's going to investigate X, Y, and Z. I don't give a damn. You understand? This is quite clearly fraudulent. You failed in the subject access request abysmally, all right, and now you're trying to tell me some gobbledygook about, I've sent in the forms, I've signed them in, I've sent them into my brother signed them in, I'm caring for my brother's here, what is it got to do with Bradford Council? Oh no, but we need to know, it's got nothing to do with his finances, is it? His personal representative. I was his personal representative, and how did I get removed as his personal representative, as his appointee? That's the whole fraud here, isn't it? The Department of Work and Pensions worked with Bradford Council to convict me, all right, and then unilaterally unilaterally removed my DWP appointeeship, all right, and now all of a sudden they're whinging and moaning, saying I needed to go to the Bradford Council. This is just winding me up, all right. I was on this call for quite a long time trying to resolve the situation, and look at this situation. They are trying to manipulate me, trying to say I need to go to Bradford Council. We've got nothing to do with Bradford Council. His personal representative is being challenged, all right. They've got a court order. Which court order do they get? They got a court order dated, like, where's this person? You've not raised this glitch in the system beforehand. All of a sudden you're raising a glitch at this time in August 2022 was something seriously being planted against me by the housing association, by the council, but they were orchestrating all this stuff. And now this person, he works clearly with Bradford Council, all right, and he's giving me some gobbledygook about how he needs to have this information and how he would get in trouble, or can't even tell me who G4S is, all right, Data Protection Act, all these laws that they're giving me, all total bullshit, all right. Over and over I got this guy, yeah, and now all of a sudden, yeah, they're saying, oh, we're not going to pay you your money. I'm caring for my brother 35 hours a week. My brother signed for it. You removed you unilaterally removed our DWP appointee, my DWP appointeeship since January 2016. That was unlawful. So everything else subsequently from January 2016, you, the DWP, have committed fraud, and now this is hence why you're not providing me the subject access request, all right, because of your failure to comply with the law. Bullshit. All right, these people are, look at who do they think they're talking to? All right, slams the phone upon me. Yeah, it's been 2 hours. I spent nearly 2 hours dealing with this person. All right, he's trying to convince me something else on the telephone. I've responded in writing. All right, to what the information that they've requested. I've responded to that. This Department of Work and Pensions, the government arm of the government, is fully under the control and manipulation of Bradford Council. That is a very serious matter here. If a Department of Work and Pensions, the government department, is fully subservient and under the control and influence of Bradford Council, quite clearly that is a very serious matter that I think everybody needs to be aware of, that Bradford Council ultimately controls the Department of Work and Pensions, where they're trying to get people onto benefit money so they can bring more and more money into the district, and then manipulate people that they try to speak up regarding the fraud and deception that's taking place here. All right, everything is quite clearly fraudulent. I've had nearly a 2-hour conversation with this person, and nothing he proved to me other than the key aspect that I found out that this person works with Bradford Council is he's been in the DWP since 1996. Then he's explaining to me there's many people in management that I don't know about. He's then trying to push the idea that he's just working on the shop front or on the shop floor. He does not work on the shop floor. He's an investigator. He investigated here, and he's a decision maker. Not only is he an investigator, he is a decision maker. He told me earlier on in the conversation, we can get your payments to you straight away, or something along those lines. We can get this resolved with today, right now. All right, so he's trying to get it resolved with right now. And then obviously he had no intention of getting it. He was just dangling the carrot in front of me that we can get it resolved right now. When the reality is that he was trying to convince me two things: that there was a glitch in the system in August, that my benefit stopped, or there was just a glitch in the system. There's no glitch in the system. That was fraud. All right, and they got caught out. And now, secondly, he was trying to convince me that even though I'm providing 35 hours care a week, which I'm not getting paid for, that I need to get my brother to the Bradford Council to sign off that I'm caring for him. All right, and they can say no. All right, so that's bullshit. It doesn't change the fact. So it's Bradford Council that had told them to suspend the payments in August. Why? That's not what he doesn't want to say, and that's why he got stressed out, and that's why he ended the conversation. Bradford Council, all right, told them to stop the payments, all right, and now all of a sudden we need to go to Bradford Council to sign off that he's getting 35 hours a week, irrespective of providing 35 hours a week, all right, and so there, it's just fraud. Look at this, yeah. That's why he ended the conversation, because what happened in August? Why did the payment stop for? Why have I not received my subject access request so I can get all this information in front of me? All lies and deception. These are all crooked people working with all authorities working with each other to victimize members of the civilian population. And then they're trying to convince me as a civilian and as a citizen of the United Kingdom that there's no such thing as a citizen. We're all subjects, all right? And we're all subjected to the crown. Bullshit.